What is the volume formula for a prism in general?
Area.
Perfect. Area of the base times the height of the object. All right, so what is the shape of the base here? A triangle. So before we go off to the side and try to find the area of the triangle, we're given the volume and we're finding the base height. So we're actually missing a piece of the triangle. So we're going to instead plug in the triangle formula. What is the area formula for a triangle? 1/2 base times height. And then we'd plug in the height of the object, which we could write in h, which would be very confusing. Or we can just plug in the height right now. What is the height currently? 21. So it pushes those two triangles apart. Now we'll plug in everything that we know. Do we know the volume? We do. What is it? 1008. Perfect. Equals 1/2. What's in red is the area formula for this triangle. Do we know the base of the triangle? Yes. What is it? 12. Do you know the height of the triangle? You don't. Do you know the height of the whole thing? Yes, it's still 21. So all that's in red dealt with the triangle. We do not have enough information to find the height. Well, we do now. We're going to solve for the height by multiplying all of the numbers on the right side. So we're going to have 1008 equal, what's half of 12? 6. What is 6 times 21? 126. And then we have the height. How do we finish solving for the height? Divide by 126. And what does the height equal? Is it 8? 8, and then it would be centimeters. Good. So, at this point, we're going to talk a little bit about this class. You guys are not the class I'm having issues with about this. You need to have your own calculators. I'm not going to be lending mine anymore. So, as of tomorrow, if you do not have a calculator, you will be written up for not being prepared for class. Here's the problem. And again, it's not really you guys. My goal, as of recently, is to try to not have homework at night. I know you guys have a lot of things going on. You play volleyball, band, you got lots of things, singing, whatever. So I know you're at school 8 hours a day. Can y'all look at me when I'm talking? I just feel like you're listening. I know you're at school 8 hours a day, and going home and doing a butt ton of homework is not your... Nobody wants to do that. Okay, when I go home, I like to hang out with my kid, have dinner, be a human being, right? That's what I wish for you. So in order for that to happen, we're going to be doing a lot more of the work in class rather than at home. So that being said, you have to have a calculator, or you're going to sit here and do a bunch of math that a calculator would take 2 seconds for. That makes sense? I've had standard students, and I know you're not standard students, who just literally sit here, and it drives me nuts, okay? So just bring your calculators so that we can all accomplish this goal of not having homework. Are we all on the same page? Is that what you guys would like?
Yes.
I feel like it would be helpful for everyone, okay? So, that being said, the other things, your review sections are due tomorrow. How many of them are there? There's 4 of them. If you're going on the trip, we'll just grade them all on Monday, because I feel like it's half this class. I think we decided there's like 12 left. There's a factoring quiz on Friday. If you wanted to take it today after school, you can. I already have it. Eric took his yesterday. I have not graded it. I'm sure we all know what it is. Anyways, where are we meeting on Friday if you are here? The Makerspace. Go to the Makerspace. So, if you're not here on Thursday, you have to come back and make up that. It's going to be an activity, but I can't just, it's not something you can go home and do. You have to do it here. And then there's a quiz, so the 2 things you'll have to make up. Other than that, there's not really anything else. Okay? So that's us for this week. We already did this. We're going to talk about volume of pyramids. So the volume of a pyramid is extremely similar to the volume of a prism. You're going to find that box in the center of your page. Volume is 1/3 times the area of the base times the height of the object. Does that sound familiar? I hope so. The only thing that's new is the 1/3, and I'm actually going to show you why it is 1/3 in the hopes that it will help you remember longer. This is interesting music. You guys are music people, so maybe you would enjoy it. My other classes make fun of it. It is what it is. So if you remember, I pulled this out. I want to say I did it for this class too. Did I show you my geometry stuff, like my blocks and stuff? Okay. So what he has, these are two different ones. The one on the top is a pyramid. It has a square base. And on the bottom, can anybody guess what this? It is a cube. A square prism or a cube, however you want to say it. So if you look, he's going to show you. He's going to prove the volume to you, but you can see that the two squares are the same. So they're going to be congruent in every way. I'll let you listen to the music so you can enjoy. So if the pyramid is 1/3 of the prism, how many times is he going to have to fill up a pyramid to fill the whole prism? 3 times. So that was the first. That's 1/3. That's 2/3. He's going to do another. And that is 3/3. So a pyramid is 1/3 of the prism. Okay? So as long as you remember the prism formula, the pyramid formula will come just as easily. All right, we're going to look at number 1. We're going to go ahead and write the formula. So the 1/3, so volume is 1/3 times the area of the base times the height of the object. So you want to take that highlighter and go ahead and highlight the base. There's only one base in a pyramid. It's always across from the top. So when we go to find the area of the base, what area formula are we going to use? 1/2 base times height. So whenever you're finding the area, you really only want to be looking at the 2-dimensional shape. So this bottom is all we're looking at. What is the base of this triangle? 6. And the height of the 2-dimensional triangle is 4. Yeah. It doesn't matter what order you multiply in. What's half of 6? 3 times 4 is 12. So we're going to plug that in. So 1/3 times 12 times the height of the whole object. So what do we think the height of the whole thing is? 9. So then there are a couple ways to do this. If you're really good at numbers and you understand, you could find 1/3 of one of the numbers. What's 1/3 of 12? 4. And then you multiply times 9. If you're not good at that, that is perfectly fine. I would keep the 1/3. I would multiply 12 times 9. What is 12 times 9? 108. And then all you do is divide that by 3. So what is 108 divided by 3? 36. So either way you do it, you're going to get the same exact answer, but you can decide. All right, we're going to do the same thing for the second. Volume equals 1/3. I'm going to put AOB because that's just quicker. Times the height of the object. So times the height. We're going to go ahead and highlight the base. I know it doesn't look like it, but what shape is the base technically? It is not a rectangle. It's a square. It is a square.
That looks like a parallelogram.
A square is a type of parallelogram.
You're not right.
So you're not wrong, but
I'm right.
anyways, so we're going to do length times width. What is the length and the width of a square? Or this square? 6 and 6. 6 times 6 is 36. So the area of the base is 36. So 1/3 times 36 times the height of the entire pyramid, which would be 8. What is 1/3 of 36? 12. And then times 8 gives us 96. And it would be inches cubed. That's it, we flip. So from here, nothing else is really new. We just use everything we did in 9.5, we do it again in 9.6. In number 5, what is the main difference between this problem and the ones that we just did? Okay, it's Pentagon. What else? It gave us the area of the base. So it's kind of a quicker problem. We got 1/3 times the area of the base, which is 27, times the height of the whole object, which is 5. So again, you could either do 27 times 5 and then divide that by 3, or we could know what's 1/3 of 27? 9. So 9 times 5 is 45, and it would be centimeters cubed. All right, last one we do over volume. What kind of base do we have? A rectangle. So a rectangle area is length times width. What's my length and my width?
8, 4 and 6. No, 4 and 1.
4 and 1. And 4 times 1 is 4. And the height of the entire shape is 6. So for this one, I'm going to do, what's 4 times 6? 24. And then 1/3 of 24, 8 centimeters cubed. Perfect. So, if you look at number 7 on yours, you're actually going to correct it. Because I don't want to talk about it. Anyways, so it's the one that would be next. It's fine. You have 7, this is 8, whatever. I just printed off yours, so yours is correct. A pyramid with a rectangle base. So I would cross out square and write rectangle if you want to save time. Yeah, I just said. You're supposed to cross it out and write rectangle. All right, so we are going to do the same thing that we did at the beginning of class. In this problem, we're given the volume and we're finding something else. So we're going to use the volume formula. Volume is 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. This is the problem where if you're given the height, instead of writing area of the base, you're actually going to plug in the area formula. So what is the area formula if we have a rectangular base? Length times width. After that, we plug in everything we know. Do we know the volume? Yes, what is it? 6. And it equals 1/3. Do we know the length? We do. What is it? 3. Do we know the width? We do, and it is 1.5. Do we know the height of the pyramid? No. So that's where we're going to solve for. This one's pretty simple. What's a third of 3? 1, and then 1 times 1.5 is 1.5 times the height. Divide by 1.5. And the height is 4, you said, right? 4, and it'd be feet. That's it. All right, the last two things. We have similar solids. They're both pyramids. So like I said, you're going to see one of these in every section, and it's going to be the same formula over and over again. You're going to do the side from the first over the side from the second. What are we going to do with that fraction? Cube it. Cube it, then we set it equal to
The volume of the first.
volume of the second. Perfect. All right, so it's not really a side. I just use side as like to dumb it down. What did they give you in the first formula, or the first picture?
Height.
They gave you the height. So they gave you the height in both pictures. They gave you 15. Then they gave you the height in the second, which is 10. Did they give you the volume in the first?
Yes.
Yes. Do you have the volume of the second?
No.
No. So I want you to pause. 15 cubed is a really, really, really big number. And 10 cubed is 1,000. Just that. So what you can do always is you can always reduce up and down. So I would reduce this. What is 15 over 10 reduced to? 3 over 2. That's why I don't always say it, because people aren't very good at it, but, Equals 125 over p. Because 3 over 2 is equivalent to 15 over 10. You're going to get the same answer. All right, so that being said, we're going to cube the top and cube the bottom. We're just going to have much smaller numbers. What is 3 times 3 times 3? 27. And 2 times 2 times 2? 8. Equals 125. Oop, missed one. Over v. Cross multiply. We get 27v equals, what is 8 times 125? What is it? 1,000, that's it? Yep. All right, and then divide by 27. Good. So the volume is what? I just didn't.
30.04.
Is that what you were saying?
No. I
Okay.
said 30.04.
Okay. That's why I was confused. All right, inches cubed. That's it. So you can reduce and make your number smaller. If you don't like to reduce, or you're not very good at it, just you can get the same answer, just much bigger numbers. We have one more to do together before starting our classwork, and it is this composite solid. So basically we have two shapes. We're going to find the volume of both, and then what will we do with our two volumes? Add them together. So what is the top? Let's describe the top. What kind of shape is this? Sure, it's actually a square, but you're good. So a square pyramid. It's fine. It's going to be the same formula. So we're going to find the volume of the square pyramid, and we're going to add it to the volume of, what would we call the bottom?
Cube.
Yeah, a cube, which is also a square prism. So find the volume of one, find the volume of the other, and then add them together. So for our pyramid, we're going to write the pyramid formula. That'd be 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. What is the shape of the base of our pyramid? We've actually already said it. It's a square. So we're going to find the area of the square. So length times width. What is the length and the width of the square? 6 and 6. So 6 times 6 is 36. And then what is the height of the pyramid only? 6. You do this a couple ways. What is 1/3 of 36? 12. And then times 6 is 72. 72. We'll do the same thing with the other one. Except for what's going to change about our volume formula?
1/2.
Nope.
It's just gotta be the area based on.
Yeah, so we just erase the 1/3. So area of the base times the height of the object. We'll find the area of that base, which is still 6 by 6, which makes it 36. And then the height of the cube only, it'd be 6. You're good. All right, so then 36 times 6 is 216. Add them together and we get 288, and it is meters cubed. Perfect.